I'm very surprised and pleased to see how well my dad came across in the video. He was the perfect subject for something like this. Who doesn't want to tell you their story? He's 91 years young, very active, and very bright in the mind, and he was happily sharing his story with us all, and we are thrilled to have this documented, and forever will he be in our hearts.
Well, one time we were out buying, my dad was out buying cattle. We bought 4 horses, saddle horses, but they were wild, you know, never been touched by a human being. Anyhow, we took it back to the ranch, and they kicked the sides of the truck there. They were really rough. So I had this one horse that I broke myself, and I begged my dad never to get on that horse because he was a spooky kind of a horse, and he just flipped in a second. So one day my dad, he got on the horse, and he was all by himself, and the horse threw him and dragged him against the barbed wire fence and everything else, and he wound up in the hospital for 7 months. So while he was in the hospital, and I wasn't very old either, must have been maybe 16 or 17, and I had to turn around. You know, you'd buy cattle in June or July for delivery in October. So I was out there and I was moving these cattle, shipping them to the market and everything, and I didn't have a license. So my dad had one friend who lived in Minnesota, mounted policeman. We called them brand inspectors, and he was very close to my dad. I'd have to call him when they brought the cattle in, so he'd give me the okay to ship them because I didn't have a license. But my dad was in the hospital for 7 months, and that's when I really grew up. I grew up from a little boy then, I'll tell you.
What I've experienced from losing a parent before my dad, I can hear him and see him for the rest of my life. My children will see it, their children will see it, and so on and so on.
We got married in Lethbridge, and Isabel moved out to the country. She came out with me. I lived out in the country. But you know, it was not a place to raise kids. You know, and especially you're not going to raise any Jewish kids out in the country. I'll tell you that.
Was she pretty?
Pardon?
Was she pretty?
I don't know. Would you say she was pretty? I don't know. She's just nice looking, I thought.
Nice looking?
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't know anyhow because she had a personality. You wouldn't even look at her anyhow. She was a fun person. She had a personality second to none. When I was a little kid, I went to school in Lethbridge. You know, I was what, 7, 8 years old when I started school. But she went to the same school. And she was also, they were Jewish, and I was Jewish. And we had a fairly decent Jewish community there. And we almost grew up together. And this is my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law. He was a nice guy. And that was my wife, Isabel. And that was me. And I guess as I got older, I started to think about girls. I guess I really relived back to Isabel because that's who we grew up with. And she moved to Edmonton, and I used to drive to Edmonton to visit with her. And you know, we're very close to she was a very, very nice person. Anybody that knew her will tell you the same story.
Corey does work of an angel. We're glad he's here doing this work. Grab the opportunity and do your story with Corey Bretz of Heirloom.